Radio.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Cryptocurrent. Your host here, Richard Carthon. And today I got a very special guest for you all the way out in Berlin, working on a really cool Layer 1 platform called Pendulum. We have Alex, the co-founder of Pendulum. How are you doing today?
Thanks for having me. Hi, Richard. Great to meet everyone. And I'm great. We're short before launch. Exciting times ahead for us.
Definitely. And excited to learn more about all the things that you are building. But before we do that, let's learn more about you. Can you give us some background on yourself?
Yes. So I joined the blockchain company behind Pendulum is SatoshiPay in 2016. So I already have some experience in the crypto space, saw ups and downs until we decided to build Pendulum the last year. Also, I was experiencing myself a little bit with Bitcoin back in 2013. I find it's an awesome technology, a decentralized financial building a decentralized financial system. It's touched me from the first point, I would say. So from the first time, and I'm really excited to be in that area. Before that, I was doing producing and project management, technical product management in the startup scene here in Berlin. And got quite some experience here working with teams. But the blockchain space is where my heart beats, I would say, in Germany.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So been in the space, first learned about it in 2013, so almost a decade later, which is pretty awesome. Started working back in 2016. And as you've seen the market mature, go through both bull and bear cycles, what was it about Pendulum that made y'all want to create that? So tell us about what is Pendulum and what made y'all want to go and solve whatever challenge that you were looking at.
Yes. So I was working with blockchain early on, and my co-founder, Meinhard, we always wanted to create something that has mass adoption, so something for the real world user, and to bring that innovation that we saw actually in blockchain to the users. We started with a micropayment system based on Bitcoin initially, as there were not much blockchains out at that time. So the choice was really limited. And we saw Bitcoin then growing to a phase where it was not really usable for us as a payment platform. It just got too much traction, right? So the blocks were full, and our micropayment system had troubles connecting to it. So we switched blockchains to the Stellar blockchain, and we're creating a product based on the Stellar blockchain. We also built an international payment platform for businesses. At that time, as publishers tend to choose subscription models, payment models. At that time, we looked for a new business opportunity, and international payments were already the number one use case on blockchain. So people sending Bitcoins around from one point in the world to another, that was already a thing. Stable coins, they got initial traction already. And we built a complete payment, a international payment platform for businesses on the Stellar blockchain. And growing that, we were missing some features, or we had to interact with a lot of partners, liquidity providers, and also market makers, and more parties came into the table. They all were very hesitant to work actually with blockchain, coming from the traditional finance world. And it was very difficult to expand and to scale with these partners. At the same time, we got all the DeFi innovation coming in. So last year, this got really traction. Automated market makers were in the game. And also, we saw a lot of liquidity and use cases coming to Ethereum and other blockchains that had smart contracts. Unfortunately, the blockchain we were on, the Stellar blockchain, did not have any smart contracts. So we couldn't automate that on the blockchain. Had the pain working with all these intermediaries at the same time. And we thought, all right, before we switch blockchains again and then don't see the right fit, we're now building it ourselves, and not only for ourselves, but for everyone who wants to deal with international payments and fiat in the blockchain space. So we built a custom blockchain for this use case, and it's not, of course, limited to our own usage, but it is open for everyone to build on and use it, of course, also. So that was a great, let's say we go one level deeper now from the application level now to the blockchain level. And we picked Polkadot as our ecosystem for various reasons. And that's how Pendulum was born last year.
Yeah, thank you for walking us through that. It's really interesting to hear how you could be working with a couple of different platforms, identify some challenges, and realize like, okay, we could just go to another ecosystem and use their framework, or we could just build it ourselves. And y'all chose the latter. Y'all chose to build it yourselves. So now that you've been going through this, building out a system for international payments, one of the things that Pendulum talks about is missing the link between fiat and DeFi. Can you kind of talk to us about like the composable fiat chain and like the Polkadot parachain that y'all are working with?
Yes. So the idea is that we have a blockchain. We have a lot of stable coins on that chain, on Pendulum, and also smart contracts that we can automate a lot of the journey of an international money transfer. Right. We couldn't find that on any other blockchain. That's why we actually decided to build it for Pendulum. And it is important for various reasons, also because why we chose Polkadot actually as our ecosystem. So first, maybe let's talk about why we went for Polkadot. We were initially a little hesitant because back then it was pretty expensive to join the network. There was this initial hype around Polkadot, and I think the first parachains, you had to, raise $1 billion in crowd loan to get a slot. So that was crazy times. And we thought, all right, maybe, it's really good tech. It has this shared security aspect, because if we just go there and create a layer one for businesses and maybe even for some fintechs to use, we need a lot of trust, right? So how can they trust us from day one and put their money in and their liquidity? So with Polkadot, we have the relay chain, which itself is pretty much decentralized and also secured, or let's say by billions of dollars that are on there, right? So if there is a security issue, that would have been found already. So this relay chain secures also all the parachains, including Pendulum. So you don't actually need to trust Pendulum itself on day one. You just need to trust Polkadot. And with that, you have all the core, let's say, features and security features already handled, which is awesome for us again. So we don't need to spin up a whole decentralized validator network. That's all existing already on the Polkadot level. So a big major reason for us, especially for our use case to choose Polkadot there. A second one was the tech and the smart contracts. So smart contracts, they are based on a different technical implementation. So these are WebAssembly smart contracts, not the Ethereum EVMs-based smart contracts. And we did some testing, and the WASM smart contracts, so that you create on the substrate framework on Polkadot, that are much more performant and efficient than in the EVM system. So that was one reason, also coming from the technical side of things. And also there is a tool set ready on Polkadot where you can reuse certain pallets, and you can actually plug in and build your blockchain, not from scratch, but already on shoulders of giants, let's say. So you don't need to reinvent the wheel, which makes it much faster to build a blockchain. That's the main reason from the technical point of view. And the challenges we're facing connecting then fiat and fiat users also to Pendulum is a big challenge in user experience, I would say. So we are connecting and we are interoperating with the banking system in certain areas. We also have these stable coins of these geographies on the Pendulum chain as stable coins. So we are not only working with US dollar tokens, USDC, USDT, or Euro tokens. We also have Mexican pesos tokens, for example, Brazilian real tokens, or Canadian dollar tokens, or British pound tokens. So we have a lot more variety there, and can this way we can service the journey of a cross-border transfer. And one key element that we implemented is our decentralized exchange, which is specialized on currency exchanges, especially stablecoin swaps. And with this, we have an innovative solution there that can execute swaps much more efficiently than in the traditional world or with the classic market making solution. So we can have a very low slippage with some basis points only, where people in the traditional world pay 2 or 3% to their banks. Yeah.
It's pretty impressive. And it almost sounds like you made a Forex, a foreign exchange marketplace between all of these different stable coins within your market, which is really cool. And I want to go back and spend some time on that in a second. But you brought up something that we can't glance over that I think is really critical here. I think you had to go and fundraise some money, and you actually set a world record. Can you kind of talk about that for a second?
Yes. So it's back in December. I mean, this video is recorded, so we have a look about the time a little bit. It was recorded a little earlier. We just before Christmas, actually, we joined a parachain auction. That's a crowd loan mechanic, how you secure your slot to the relay chain, to the Polkadot relay chain. And we prepared a lot. It was a launch at night, and then when we it was a little bit delayed, and then in the morning we were all in the call also with the whole team launching it, and we just launched and saw a lot of activity happening. And after 3 minutes, this crowd loan was already reaching its cap. So we capped it at a higher cap actually that was necessary, because we wanted to include a lot of community on that crowd loan. But anyway, after 3 minutes, the cap was reached. And actually, with this hitting cap, we also won the crowd loan. The winner was chosen a week after. And that was a big success. And our founder, Meinhard, he did some research and actually found out that there was no parachain before that reached that cap in that amount of time. So wow. We hit a record over there, and got a lot of support. And actually, it was very supportive and motivating also that we got this feedback in form of a crowd loan from the community, which feels great.
Oh, definitely. I mean, if you have the buy-in from your community to be able to fill that up in 3 minutes, during a bear market, especially the bear market that was 2022, yes. I think that alone speaks volumes. So speaking to that, there is a lot of excitement around your upcoming launch this February. So just everyone listening, this is previously recorded, but by the time this goes out, it will be around the launch. So can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yes. So we are currently still working for the launch. There are various topics and fields, of course, before such a launch that we're tackling. We will also pre-launch some of the software on our sister chain on the Kusama network, which is the sister network of Polkadot. For testing, this project is called Amplitude. So there will be some of the software be already out there. So what we're launching is of course the main chain, the core blockchain, and on top there will be the Spacewalk, which is our bridge to Stellar. So the Stellar network has some really valuable stablecoins there, and it's a great network also focusing on the whole international payment space. And you will be able to use all the Stellar stablecoins, which are all fiat backed. So they are have very nice quality stablecoins over there. We'll be able to use them also on Pendulum, which is great. We will have the widest choice of stablecoin currencies over there. So this is launching too. And then the third protocol, let's say our first native protocol, it's an incubated project. It's independent of Pendulum. It's called 0x Amber. And this is the Forex DEX, actually. So the foreign exchange, the decentralized exchange specialized on Forex. That will launch too. There will be some initial programs for providing liquidity. So it will be very interesting times. I guess it's definitely worth looking at what's launching, because there will be a lot of incentives initially for first users to provide liquidity, to use the platform, and to do the first steps together with Pendulum and the whole team. So yeah, I would say keep an eye out on all the announcements there. We usually tweet everything that's very relevant. So yeah, do that. It's probably worth it. Yeah,
definitely. So get involved with the community. What are ways that people can come and find you? So obviously they can go to your website, which is pendulumchain.org. But what are other ways that people can engage? Or if they're listening to this right now, and they're like, I've been looking for some sort of Forex in crypto opportunity, and this sounds like it. How can they get involved?
Yeah, start with the website and all the channels you want to join. So join our Telegram channel. It's pretty active. Also, the Discord is very nice. If you want to follow some news, I would recommend Twitter. So on all these channels, we're active. We also have a newsletter out where you can subscribe on. And if you really want to strategically, let's say, contribute, or you're a developer and want to build something with all the tool set already there, you want to build something for businesses, then reach out to our communities team there. They will direct you to the right place to talk also to our product and development team. So we're very open here, and we're looking for additional builders and users trying to help the community. And looking forward to meeting all of you.
Definitely. Now, I just want to go back for a second because I want to spend a little bit more time around the security piece. So there was a lot of challenges that came out of 2022. A lot of it had to do with multi-party liquidity and also around security. There's a ton of hacks that occurred. What are y'all doing to help learn and prevent the lessons of 2022?
Yeah, so looking at 2022, I think it was a real test of the blockchain space in terms of security, and I see already a lot of advancements and improvements on that side, actually. So I think there is another understanding now of trusting centralized entities, so centralized exchanges and so on. So I think that you store or your coins where you hold your own keys and so on got a lot more attention now again. And we really think that a self-custodial platform is the way to go, and it's a very secure, let's say, fundamental method that we can only advise to follow. So in the space, we want also to build a system and a self-custodial solution also for businesses that they can actually use, that's not too complicated for them, right? So there are solutions out there for managing and handling private keys, and also having a good UX while doing that. And we want to bring that together and make it usable for business users. But on the core side, I touched already on the Polkadot relay chain security that we already got on the core. And what we did with our bridge, because I think every second or a third hack was a bridge, right? Because they are accumulating a lot of liquidity, and it's a big honeypot that you want to hack, right? So if there is something in the smart contract that can be attacked, it will be attacked. So we thought of a concept, of a security concept for our Stellar bridge, and Spacewalk is not only a bridge to Stellar but also to similar blockchains. So Spacewalk is from the concept more decentralized than other bridges. So there is a fully collateralized piece that actually saves, let's say, the assets that are transferred. And these collateral tokens, they will be not centrally stored or protected by a multi-signature wallet of some kind, but they are actually built up in decentralized vaults. So everyone can actually become a vault operator and accepting these collateral payments. So it's much more decentralized from the initial concept, which makes it more secure as a total system, right? So having this and acting or executing a bridge in this more trustless environment is our contribution or our way to go, and how we see going the security developments also going forward. I think we've seen a lot of missing money also in the last year. So just some balance sheets where, I don't know, some money got lost. This cannot happen if you put it on a smart contract on the public blockchain, right? So I think this is the form of transparency that can also protect users from losing money. And this is the way we want actually how money is moved in the future, and fully transparent, 24/7 audited by the public, right? Right. Of systems, and not someone has actually the right to steal that money or run away with it. So if this is secured by a computer, it's much safer, I would say. Anyway, yeah, so that's our take on it. So there are various aspects of the whole journey, and I think we're definitely advocating a way of a more decentralized and transparent approach to security.
And I think that's great. And I think those are two things that are going to be really crucial when things are truly all put on the blockchain's public ledger. People can go and verify. You can verify and validate, and you don't have to necessarily trust a centralized entity to take care and hope they're not lying to you. Because unfortunately, we learn there's a lot of liars out there. And now as we move forward, if we can put more things into computers and being a lot more decentralized and having it be in a secure place that people can control themselves and be on a trusted protocol, I think that's going to continue to build trust, because we have to, I think 2023 is about building trust again, because unfortunately a lot of trust was lost last year. So sounds like y'all are on the right path to do that. And I'm excited to learn more about everything that y'all have going on at Pendulum. But as we wrap up here, I always like to finish with a couple of fun questions. The first being, if you could take all the lessons and information that you've learned through the years of being in this space and go back to yourself in 2016 when you first started, what are a couple lessons you would tell and teach yourself?
Interesting. 2016. I still had in 2016. It's an interesting one, but I was still, because mass adoption was widely connected to the adoption of bigger institutions, actually, so that bigger companies and bigger institutions are adopting blockchain. Working a couple of years in the space and seeing also the speed these institutions are moving things forward, I think we might not necessarily need these big institutions to move or migrate actually their traditional use cases or something to blockchain. I think it's much more probable that in parallel, there will be a system built up without these institutions. At one point, there is enough traction, these institutions might move over. So in terms of speed and adoption, I think the main driver will not be bigger institutions, or especially financial institutions, but it will be the actual users, it will be the actual disruptors, and taking out and automating away some intermediaries there is actually the way how this will create mass adoption. So that's one of the bigger lessons and also strategic decisions that we took also in a company. So initially, of course, we were invited to a lot of bigger car companies, banks, and so on. Or every meeting started with "What's blockchain?" And then after a while, we saw that these projects, there might be a proof of concept here or there, but it's actually moving too slow, and that's why we went on for more speed with direct user targeting. Yeah, that's I think one of the main takeaways here.
It's a big lesson. Don't think that mass adoption is going to be with the big institutions coming, but it's going to be the people, the disruptors, and create things for them so that we can, keep growing and moving things forward. I think that is a good lesson. But as we wrap up here, what is a final thought that you want to leave with everyone listening today?
Final thought is maybe my initial thought when I came to blockchain. So that the whole money transfer was kind of a magic to me back then, how does this even work? Is there someone having $1 in a database, and then that means that's my money? And I think looking at the crypto space and stable coins, that makes it much more transparent to me. And it's actually still magic, but it's much more transparent for me what this money actually is and how this is moved. And I think just thinking about it, that there's no one, also no internal attacker can interfere in my money. I think that's a thought I can now tell you, which I find very magical and very good, actually. So I keep my money, or me as a business, no one can touch it there, and I can also move it and understand how this works. For me, this makes much more sense than in moving money in the traditional world, actually.
So people have more ability to be in control and have the options to use their money how they see fit. And I think that is building a more equitable future for everyone and giving power back to the people as, we continue to expand the world of Web3. So definitely appreciate that final sentiment. Thank you for all the information that you've shared with us today. Again, for everyone that's listening, you can go over to pendulumchain.org for more info. And Alex, thank you again for dropping all the knowledge. And as always, for everyone listening, stay cryptocurrent.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Cryptocurrent. Cryptocurrent is a cryptocurrency and blockchain education platform that's bridging the gap between the curious newcomers who are just discovering the space and the thought leaders who are shaping its future. All opinions expressed by Richard Carthon, the Cryptocurrent team, and their guests on this show are exclusively their own opinions. This show and any other Cryptocurrent production is exclusively for informational purposes.